I didn't have to pause it. I could have just waited. That was my bad. That was entirely my bad. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just spoken while the credits were rolling. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. That was my bad. That was my mistake. But yes, we do not have Kristen Bell in the future games because of this contract dispute. Give me a second. While the credits are rolling, I'm going to actually look up what she did after this. Because if memory served, not only did she bounce back, but she landed a much better gig.
Shit,
than,
he's gone into shock. Put him back in the machine. It's the only way to fix this. But the Animus did this to him. Am I the expert or not? Do it. No.
Yeah, so that they justify that by throwing... Oh! Right. Shortly after declining to come back for Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Kristen Bell got a job as a voice actress for a very obscure studio called Pixar to voice Anna from Frozen. So, not only did she bounce back, she did fine. She did just fine. Which I spoke with a friend about this when I looked this up. I remember this conversation now. And I can't be like I don't know what was in Kristen Bell's heart, or Ubisoft's heart for that matter. I wasn't there in that conversation. I wasn't there at the time. I can only speculate with the information I have been given. But it would not surprise me in the slightest if Kristen Bell asked for royalties, knowing damn well she would get turned down, so she could instead work with Disney. It would not surprise me in the slightest if that was the case. Or, even more plausible, she was like, yo, I have a pitch from Disney who is giving me this offer. You cannot top this offer, I am gone. Again, I don't know if that's true, but it's certainly plausible. I would suspect it's true. And yeah, no, I assume that she has absolutely no regrets over her decision. She did it. For all intents and purposes, any voiceover work you can do for Pixar, for Disney Pixar, you absolutely take that job because you're probably going to get huge royalties on it, especially Frozen. Frozen ends up being such a huge franchise. Yeah, I that's also possible. She could have been willing to do it. I don't like exactly. We don't know what the contract was. We don't know. We know that the contract originally for 3 games. We do know that much at least. But what happened after that contract expired, we know nothing. We know nothing. And I will say, the Desmond storyline for Assassin's Creed was absolutely made weaker for this decision. Clearly the Frozen thing worked out for her, so Kristen Bell did at least fine. I'm sure she's happy with where she is right now. But as for the story of Assassin's Creed, losing her losing that character was pretty bad, actually. Because she was such a huge part of the story. And they eventually, like, they figure something out. Like, it's clearly a compromise solution, but they do figure something out to kind of connect the dots. But it's so transparent that she was supposed to be there that it feels icky. And this was also, remember, prior to when the GTA 4 Nico voice actor, I forget his fucking name, also began the push for royalties in his game, for him himself. And video game voice acting is not a very lucrative career. Like, a lot of voice actors, they have the union benefits from being in SAG-AFTRA. So thank God they get something, but they're not too well off. They probably live comfortably, but they spend a lot of their day going from gig to gig. My understanding is that voice actors get paid for a 4-hour recording session about $1,000, which, on one hand, that is a lot of money. That's $250 per hour of work. However, you have to factor in that A, you can't do too many of those in a given week because your voice will give out if you do. And B, the rest of your time in voice acting is spent getting voice acting gigs. So you do, like, when you get gigs, I guess you are paid fairly well. Not like, we're talking about decent wages, but not like uber wealthy. We're not talking like millions per gig, like you'd think like Clooney or McConaughey would get. But you're not gonna retire on that. You still have to you still have to keep working, even if you score like a golden hit gig. And yeah, powered by Adobe Flash. Fuck off. I miss Adobe Flash. Adobe Flash is one of the best the coolest artifacts of old internet. The fact that we did away with Flash is such a terrible thing. Flash was it a great tool? Not really, but it was an iconic tool of that era. But voice acting in video games has kind of been like a hot topic for a while now. Can I skip this? I cannot skip this. I can't skip this. Okay, that's fine. That is... Oh. No, I can pause it, but I can't skip it. Lovely. But video game voice acting has been like a hot topic a couple times over the years. That probably will be again, because those guys still don't have the kind of benefits that an actual actor would have, like royalties, especially. The kind that you can make careers off of. And so, honestly, I'm happy that Kristen Bell still got for her guns, even if it ended up resulting in her not being part of Assassin's Creed. She ended up doing just fine. I just wish that Ubisoft would have considered the value of the work that she would have done. Yes, yeah, exactly. When you consider how much Ubisoft blew up, and admittedly, all of the actors in this game are more or less out of the picture. Like, I think Sean and Rebecca are not part of the story, the mainline story anymore. They might have been, like, brought back, I think, in Valhalla. But I didn't play Valhalla, so I can't be 100% certain of that. Like, Desmond gets eliminated at the end of 3. most of the actors in the modern day story in Assassin's Creed from this game don't get seen a lot in subsequent games. I think Sean and Rebecca do because they're a bit of a fan favorite. But Nolan North and Lucy, who were the corners, who were two of the three voice actors who built the modern day storyline. Nolan North and Kristen Bell are gone. And Vidic's character from Assassin's Creed 1 also got assassinated at the end of 3. Like, none of those characters are part of the game, story anymore, so even if they did get royalties, they probably wouldn't make that much more because they wouldn't be part of the story. But that's for the game overall. This game is weird. Why are there Kojima credits going on right now? I just saw Metal Gear Solid 4 cross my... I'll have to re-watch the VOD to see what Metal Gear Solid 4 has to do with Factory Brotherhood, but that was strange. Overall, like, I don't want to say this game is bad. I think Brotherhood is quite a fun video game still. Like, I enjoyed the act of playing it. But this is a very, like, nothing burger as far as the overall story of Assassin's Creed is concerned. The only relevant thing happens at the end with the death of Lucy. And that is exclusively because of shenanigans outside of creative, and that was purely business reasons that was decided upon. So, like, if you discount the reason that she had to exit the plot for business reasons, there's not a whole lot that happens here creatively, as far as the story is concerned, because they had to scramble to make a whole plot in a year. Even at the time, that was a daunting prospect. Like, it was rare for games that yearly released outside of Call of Duty in that era, especially a game like Assassin's Creed, where Call of Duty can just make another multiplayer campaign, have a mediocre single player campaign attached to it, and you're fine. Assassin's Creed is a single player game first and foremost, so they needed to have a campaign that was at least good to keep going, and making one of those a year is tough. I don't envy the writers and creatives who had to work in the year between Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood to make a whole new story and a whole new level, a whole new area. Given the resources, it's honestly quite impressive what they managed to turn out. Genuinely. I think the improvements over with the chain kills, I think the brother mechanic, probably a little too strong, but they're still very fun to use. I think a lot of the missions are still fun to play, even though I think the optional objectives are not a huge miss. While it is a cool idea to encourage players to be assassin-like with the optional objectives, a lot of them are just not well designed. A lot of them rely on pure luck in many respects to complete, because the systems that are here do not really support the kind of precision you need for those kinds of objectives. There's a lot they try here, and a lot of it sticked. And not all of it, but a lot of it did. Just they had a. It's just the idea. The idea of making this a yearly release was probably where they went wrong, or anything else. And that wasn't the creative team's fault. That was business. That was Ubisoft executives saying they needed a yearly release. Much like Kotick wanted yearly releases of everything in Activision Blizzard's portfolio. And if you couldn't make it yearly, you were shuffled over Call of Duty minds to do Call of Duty games. This game is a symptom, not the problem. It's a symptom of the focus on capitalist quarter yearly earnings and how you have to always grow, always get more and more profits, and how that's not conducive to an industry where new products come out maybe 2 years at the time, but these days 5 years or more between products. Yeah, why make a good game when you can make a mid-tier one that will sell? Is exactly kind of the logic that went into this. And again, no disrespect to the developers who made this game. They did the best they could in the scenario they were given. The shortcomings of Brotherhood and Revelations that follows it, we'll get to that when we get to it, are not their fault. Rarely is it ever the actual developer's fault. Usually they will know they turned out a mediocre product. They'll know. But that wasn't really in their control. And I have fun. I don't want to I'm shitting on this game, and I don't feel like I should or need to. This game does some cool stuff. It's the only thing that really. And I enjoy the game. I just have a lot of criticisms about it, about its existence. I think it's bizarre that that Ezio becomes this landlord who is eager to brainwash people with the Apple of Eden. I think it's weird that we had we renovate Rome and take control of all the buildings in Rome. We say that we're here for free will, but then we are the biggest ass landlord in all of landlorddom. We say we're about free will, but then we use the Apple of Eden to brainwash a whole unit of guards multiple times. These are things that the game doesn't really grapple or reckon with. But I doubt there are things that the developers even knew to reckon with. I doubt they even realized what they were doing. Let's do the last Christina memory. That is not what I highlighted. Oh, there's a Taylor right next to her. That's why. Let's do this last memory of Ezio's first girlfriend, Christina. We did a few of them earlier. I think this is the last one. It's post-game, so probably. And obviously, now that Desmond is in the Animus just to keep himself alive and stable, we can no longer go back to the real world. Desmond is no longer playable. That's why we had to do our collectathon before the finale, because once you do the finale, it is impossible to return to the to Montergione. It means it's impossible to return and finish up anything you had to do in Montergione. Or any emails you had to read. We didn't. We don't care about the emails. No one wants to read the fucking emails. I don't read emails at work, but I don't want to do it in a video game. Almost there. Got one Christina memory coming up, and then we will begin the or just continue the Leonardo da Vinci DLC. Now that we're actually at a point where it makes sense to do it. Oh, they must be above.
garnished with the finest style available.